Hi, everybody. This is kind of interesting for me to do. I'm at home, working from home today, but I also really wanted to go live and do a schedule and a preview video, but I'm at home, so I don't have the beans. So I thought we would just refill my mother jars because as I got looking at it, I was like, I need to work on my vanilla beans a little bit. And let's talk Indri vanilla schedule. So, my name's Lisa. I am an admin here in Indri's Vanilla Bean group, and we're just gonna be doing some stuff here at my own house, and I'm just gonna try and make sure that my camera isn't pointing at my nose or anything like that. There we go. Anyway, so welcome to my kitchen and my home. I pulled out some, you can see my living room behind me. I pulled out some of my mother jars that need to be refilled. So you can see all my kids' art projects on the door back there. I'll try and turn this so that it's not so weird. Anyway, let's talk vanilla beans, and let's talk about vanilla bean schedules, and let's talk about mother jars. So here in Indri's Vanilla Bean group, we are always constantly hosting group orders. A lot of you probably know that. That's not a big surprise. And as we were looking at the schedule, our bean wrangler, my coworker Jamie, came up with the idea of having a mother jar vanilla bean blend in time for Mother's Day. And I thought that was such a fun idea. We've done several vanilla bean blends as group orders where we take the ends and pieces of other group orders that we've done that we haven't quite sold out of, and we have, I don't know, a couple 100 pounds, maybe not that much, sometimes more than that. And we mix them together before we send them to you. And it makes for some really unique, wonderful flavor combinations because you get the best of all the worlds. In this mother jar blend that we are going to open, it will open on Monday, April 21st, the day after Easter. We're going to open this group order, and it's going to have, we're thinking 5 varieties of vanilla beans in it. It'll have Madagascar bourbon cure, the most popular, plentiful vanilla bean in the world, and one that's incredibly, classic vanilla, just super bold, common. You understand this, you smell it and you go, oh yeah, that's vanilla. That's going to be in there. We're going to have both of our Papua New Guinea varieties. So we're going to have Papua New Guinea V planifolia and Papua New Guinea V tahitensis, which are, both of those are 2 of my absolute all-time favorite. I think if I had to pick a favorite vanilla bean, it'd probably be Papua New Guinea V planifolia. Mainly because we love the supplier, and it's always been a really low drama vanilla bean, and it is long and glorious, and I kind of also call it our poor man's Hawaiian vanilla bean, the off-brand Hawaiian vanilla bean, because it's long, it smells amazing, but it's not as expensive as a Hawaiian vanilla bean. We're also going to have Indonesia V planifolia, which is really buttery and has a little bit of a tangy, fruity component to it. So that's a fun one to add to the mix. And then we'll be tossing in some Timor-Leste extract grade V planifolia vanilla beans, which have, they're kind of autumnal, fall cottage, and they have a little bit of warm spice to them, kind of chocolatey. So those 5 vanilla beans will be going into this blend. We'll mix them up before we send them to you. So you won't know what they are in your bag. They'll just come in a bag, and they won't be labeled further than just the Zinnia mother jar blend of vanilla beans. And they'll be mixed grade. So some of them will be short because we do have some extract grade vanilla beans in there. Some of them will be really long and luxurious, and you just won't know what you're going to get. But one thing that it will be really good for is making all kinds of vanilla extract. They'll be able to pair with whatever alcohol you want to put them in. And if you want to make a mother jar with them, then you can do that. I was going to talk about mother jars here, so that I also will have some footage that I can edit down and make into little shorter videos later on. But I see that there's some people watching. Please say hi to me. I'm at home, so I can actually read your comments. So I would love to answer your questions about making vanilla extract, about making a mother jar of vanilla, how to use a mother jar, what even is a mother jar. I will try and talk about those things anyway, whether people ask about them or not. Upcoming orders. If you have questions about upcoming group orders or things that we've got going on over at indrivanilla.com, our retail website, I can try my best to answer those. So I have here with me a couple of big jars that need to be filled with alcohol. So this one is a 3-liter Le Parfait jar, and I have recently drained it of all of its extract because I kind of do my mother jars in the admin style, which is we have a bajillion vanilla beans, and so we get really, really lazy. So don't do them like me. That's not very cost effective. So let's talk about mother jars. Oh, hi Lisa. My name's Lisa too. I like your name, and happy Easter to you too. Thanks for doing these informative videos. You're welcome. You're welcome. So let's talk about mother jars. So when we took over Indri Vanilla like 5 years ago, I noticed like people started talking about mother jars because Ina Garten, who I love, she's a celebrity chef. She makes vanilla extract, and she kind of has this like eternal bottle of vanilla extract going where she has vanilla beans in a jar and she just tops it off with vodka whenever it gets low and maybe adds a few more vanilla beans. That was the first time I remember hearing of, first of all, that you could make your own vanilla extract. And second of all, that you could do this kind of eternal jar. And so when we first took over Indri Vanilla, that was kind of the collective experience that we started with a mother jar. So I don't know exactly where the name mother jar got officially coined, if it was from her or from somebody else, or if it was a thing before we took over Indri Vanilla. I know that I had heard of homemade vanilla extract long before my sister took over this company and I started working with vanilla beans on a daily basis. So, but in the 5 years that we've been here, it's been really fascinating to watch as these terms and the way that people use them and the way that people make their extract has kind of meandered. It's kind of shifted around as different trends come and go. So we had a long time where we used the mother jar to define a large bottle, and it usually had to be pretty big because a large bottle of vanilla extract that you would make, and then you would get a second smaller bottle, which I'm going to refill in a minute here too, a smaller bottle that would be like your everyday use bottle. So you would have like a big jar of vanilla extract, and you would get that brewing, the big jar, full of vanilla beans and alcohol. And then you would have a smaller, like daily use bottle, and you would refill your daily use bottle from your big mother jar. But it wouldn't drain the entire mother jar because it was smaller. And it was like, if you did like half the size or a third of the size for your smaller jar that you had in, so that you would only have to drain off like a third of your mother jar to put it into the smaller baby jar. Then you could just refill the mother jar, just top it off, and you wouldn't be starting completely from scratch with all new alcohol and all new beans. So it wouldn't take a full year to like redevelop your mother jar into really nice usable extract. So that's kind of where I always understood the term mother jar to come from, was that it was like having little baby children extracts, right? Like the mother jar was the big one that you would just top off occasionally with a little more alcohol, and occasionally you'd throw in a handful of fresh vanilla beans. And then that way it would always be ready to go. Because, you know, this kind of bottle, somebody just asked, what type is this bottle? I got this bottle a long time ago, and I should have included a link because I knew I was going to show this, and I knew that somebody was going to want to know about what it was. I got this on Amazon. It's got like little squeeze, and it draws the extract up from the bottom into the top. It's an oil dispenser, like for olive oil or something like that. But anyway, that's what I use, but you can also use any other one. I will share the link for this thing once I'm done doing this video. I apologize that I don't have the link, but I have used other types of dispensers. I'm going to have to pour that back into here because I don't want to spill this vanilla extract, but it's obviously could use a cleaning. Actually, I've got some caviar stuck up inside of it. You can see that. Anyway, so we have the mother jar that's big, and it's great for extracting, but like trying to pour out of this on a daily basis. This is a 3-liter Le Parfait swing top jar, and I really like the swing top for my mother jars, my big brewing jars, because it's easier to open even when it's sticky and kind of been used for a while. This one's still got quite a few vanilla beans in it. I wanted to show you my husband's crazy vanilla jar. This is his idea, not mine. If you've been in this group long enough to know, to remember all of my crazy posts of my sweet, amazing husband and me and our adventures and the things that we get into, you'll know that he should have learned his lesson a long time ago. But I love him, and so we have this. This, I don't even know how big this thing is. I think it's probably 3 gallons. It's huge, look. Oh, and it's not even full of alcohol, and it's really heavy. But we're gonna fill it up with alcohol for him today. So this is the mother jar of all mother jars. I don't recommend using something this big because I did have a big, huge carboy. It was a big, like 3-gallon or 6-gallon carboy. It was massive. It was for brewing like beer, but we were using it to make vanilla extract. And that big, huge thing did get a crack in it, and it did spill, and it was not fun. It like came like spraying out the side, and my sweet husband like carried it into the bathtub and was sitting there with like vanilla extract like spraying out. And I was like running around trying to figure out what to do, and it was an adventure. We survived. I'm an admin. We get to take home vanilla beans that are completely unusable occasionally. So I was only out the cost of the carboy and the alcohol. It was a terrible thing. If that's something like that happened to one of you all, though, that could be thousands and thousands of dollars of investment, and we don't want that for you. So I would not recommend using big, huge jars, but it's really fun to show. So we'll show it to you, and then you can all be like, wow, look at Lisa's ginormous bottle of, that's a grandmother jar. Yes, I'll show you the grandmother jar for fun today so we can all laugh together, but then you can do your own thing on your own time and your own money and whatever investment works best for you. The thing is with mother jars, we want to use vanilla beans that work well for you. If you're making this large of a jar, some people like to put vanilla beans in. I'm trying to talk about varieties, and I should never talk and do things at the same time because it always ends up just being really bad. I don't know. I can't talk about it. I wanted to teach you guys about like the meandering course that mother jars have gone through, the definition of mother jars have gone through. I think Heather might have found the Amazon link to my my oil dispenser vanilla slash vanilla dispenser bottle. Thank you, Heather. So if you are wanting to learn more about that, I think that Heather found it and shared the link. I appreciate that. Okay. Mother jars started off being this big bottle that you would brew a whole bunch of vanilla extract on and then you could decant a portion of it into a smaller baby jar. And then you could use your baby jar on a daily basis. And then while you were using that baby jar, you would top off your mother jar and it would continue to brew and develop into more vanilla extract. And occasionally you would reach into your mother jar and pull out a bean and use it for caviar. And then you'd pull that out. And then as it lost beans, then you'd grab a handful of new beans and you'd toss them in there. So you just had this like eternal jar of vanilla extract going that you could always decant a small portion of. And you would never drain it completely like I've done, but you would just kind of always have it going. Over time, though, people are like kind of changed the definition. Maybe they were calling that their mother jar because that's where they put their beans that they had used for a different project and maybe used for once for extract already, or maybe they had just taken the caviar out of it. It was like a fresh bean, but they'd used the caviar for a recipe, and then now they had this like split bean. They would toss that into their mother jar, and the mother jar just kind of became a collection of whatever ends and pieces of bottles of liquor that they had used for a different project, and then they dumped that in there. As long as your alcohol is in the 80 to 100 proof range, you can add it and make vanilla extract with it. So some people use their mother jars that way. Some of them use them more like I already defined. If you use them differently, please share with us. I don't know how you're using them or how you define them. That's what I typically do. We need to fill up my husband's massive, huge vanilla grandmother jar here. And so I've got some Everclear. It is undiluted. This is 190. It's important to check the proof because I have these bottles of Everclear I've had them for a while, like kind of a long while. But recently, I live in the state of Utah, and recently they passed a law that you cannot sell alcohol that is this high of proof. And so the highest proof alcohol that I can buy in my local liquor stores is 151 proof. So if you're going to do Everclear, if that's your choice, and you want to dilute it because it's too high of proof, then just make sure that you know what proof you're starting with so you know how much water to add. This is 190 proof, so I am going to add, which means it's almost pure alcohol. 200 would be pure alcohol. So I'm going to cut it 1-to-1 ratio with distilled water. So anyway, this was another, Everclear was another one of the like trends that kind of went around on Indri Vanilla for a while. Like we had a lot of people doing diluted Everclear. I haven't seen quite as many people doing diluted Everclear anymore. That doesn't mean it's not still a viable option. It just kind of is up to you. We've seen different alcohols kind of come into popularity and then kind of go out of popularity. When we very first started, Tito's was all the rage, Tito's vodka. And I made some of it, and honestly, it wasn't my favorite, so I have never used it again. I think it had a little bit of a peppery taste, and I don't drink, so I didn't know that. And people nowadays are like, oh yeah, that's a thing. And I'm like, well, it would have been nice to know, but that's okay. It's all right. If you add enough beans and give it enough time, it'll get to something that's really, really nice. So anyway, I think I added an oak block though, an oak finishing block, which we sell on indrivanilla.com. I added that to my Tito's vodka one and it mellowed it out without an issue. So anyway, I should tilt my camera so you can see a little bit better. So I drained out that last bottle of Everclear and I had I've got about 4 or 5 cups. I shouldn't be reading it. I can hear my high school chemistry teacher being like, what are you doing holding that up to the light? Look, bend down to its level and read it at the bottom of the meniscus. Okay, so I'm going to tip this down just for a second. Potpourri, that's what I think of a mother jar. That's what Brandy says. So it's kind of like a little bit of everything, mix of everything in your mother jar. Yep, that's That sounds about accurate. So I've got about 4 cups of 190 proof Everclear. And I'm going to do exactly double that. I'm going to do about 4 cups, take it up to the 8 cup line with distilled water. Now, when you dilute Everclear, I like to mix it in a different container. So I've got a big liquid measuring cup. I'll try not to spill here. I like to mix it in a big measuring cup before adding it to the vanilla beans, because this has a very mild chemical reaction happening right now, and it needs time to settle down, and so that it doesn't like go cloudy. That's what the biggest thing that we've seen when people mix like Everclear or pour Everclear directly into their vanilla beans, or they and then they try and dilute it later. Like if that happens, like if you mix it with the vanilla beans first and then you add the water, or just any other order other than mixing the water and the Everclear first and letting it sit for a few minutes and then adding it to the vanilla beans. If you do it in any other order than that, it tends to make the extract go cloudy. Now that is just just a cosmetic issue if that happens to you. If you notice that your vanilla is kind of cloudy after mixing this is really only with Everclear as well. But if you find that you're using Everclear and it has kind of a cloudy, almost an orange juice look to it, don't worry. It is just cosmetic. Give it a good shake, keep it somewhere warm, put it away, try and forget about it for a year, and I promise it'll be all right. So when I mix these two up, it actually warms up just a little bit. That's what I mean by it's having a very mild chemical reaction happening there. So as the alcohol is kind of mixing with the water and anyway, so I'm making this huge, big old jar of vanilla extract, this grandmother jar, this huge, enormous jar that my husband invested in. He's really excited about. So, all right, so let's top her off. So this is probably going to spill something terrible. It's going to be kind of embarrassing. Try and just go slow here. I believe these vanilla beans have been used to make vanilla extract once. Now, we find that you can make about 1.5 batches of really good vanilla extract out of a set of beans. Now, if you can see, this jar is incredibly full of vanilla beans. My husband's been collecting beans as I use up jars of extract, and he's been just stuffing it full. So even though they have been used once, and so some of their flavor, a lot of their flavor is already leached out, since this thing is so packed full, I'm not too worried. I think that there's going to be oodles of flavor to still get a nice, rich vanilla extract. I mean, if I was to weigh these out, my guess is that I would be in the, probably still the quadruple or pentuple fold range, just because this is so full. This is going to take a lot of alcohol. I don't know if I'm going to do this all on this one video, because this is going to take forever. I don't even know if I have enough alcohol for this. I'm pretty sure this is 3 gallons. And that was 8 cups. So that's half a gallon of alcohol. This is hilarious. I just imagine you guys at home watching me do this. Look how far that got up there. It's not even halfway full. Oh boy. Well, I did grab some other types of alcohol. So this is Barton vodka. So this one does not need to be diluted. This is 80 proof. I'm just going to check. Yeah, 80 proof. So I'm just going to dump this one right in, and then I don't have to measure it. So, and that's another thing that some people do with their mother jars, is that they mix different alcohols and add that in there. I know some people like to have only rum in their mother jars, or they'll do only vodka, but they'll do different brands. And so they'll add all kinds of different brands, especially if they're one that is testing different alcohol options to see what kinds are their favorites. Maybe they are like, they have a series of experiments where they're trying either unique specific varieties of vanilla bean. So maybe they've got a bottle of just Madagascar bourbon and a bottle of just Indonesian and a bottle of just Burundi. And maybe they've got some specialty varieties from the retail side or something like that. And they've got these little jars of that. But then as they make it, they end up with, they buy some special types of alcohol and they use that to make those. And then they end up with, I don't know, a couple of cups or less of each type of alcohol. And they don't want to use it for any other purpose other than making vanilla extract. And so maybe they'll get a big mother jar and just dump in all of those little ends and pieces and kind of make a little cocktail, a vanilla extract cocktail. I've done that. I've got some jars in my closet, which I thought maybe we'd take a field trip at the end, because I do need to go find some finished extract to top off my daily use jar. But I do have one that's like mystery beans and mystery booze. And I had vanilla beans from Indri Vanilla, just like as we had been packaging. So I don't even know what's in there. That's what I labeled it as, was mystery beans and mystery booze. And I had been doing a bunch of experiments with different types of alcohol. And so I had like a little bit from several bottles and I just dumped it all in there. So I think it's got like some bourbon and some rum and some vodka. It's probably pretty chaotic tasting, but I'm kind of a chaotic person too. I have just put in 8 cups of diluted Everclear and an entire handle. This is a big bottle of vodka. And I don't even dare like pick this up anymore because it's getting heavy. Let me try and tip this down. Look at that. So I think it's filled to about there. So we're about 2/3 of the way there. Yikes. Okay. Well, we can't stop now. We're almost there. So I'm going to do another 4 cups of Everclear. I might have to go digging deeper I'm not going to take you to the liquor store with me. That would be way too long and boring of a video. Anyway, if you guys have questions about mother jars, please, gotta take the lid off. Please put them in the comments. We are doing a mother jar blend of vanilla beans. It will open on Monday, April. This is why I shouldn't be talking and diluting Everclear at the same time. April 21st will be the zinnia group order. So right now we have wild peppercorns on our pre-order, and this is our one time a year for peppercorns. So if you want peppercorns, if you would like to pre-order peppercorns, please hop on before it's too late. I did include a link to the resources page. Let's fix my camera again. I included a link. So while we let this just kind of sit and warm up and then cool off again, this diluted Everclear, let's talk really quickly about this mother jar blend of vanilla beans. It will be $7 an ounce for these vanilla beans. And that's why we thought it would make great for filling up your mother jar, because again, I think we've been over this before. I don't recommend doing a 6-gallon bottle of, or 3-gallon, I think this is 3 gallons, 3-gallon bottle of vanilla extract. This is my cute husband being my cute husband and just excited about life. But if you were looking for a time to stock up on vanilla beans, and you're not super particular about having them all like marked separately, or maybe you want to embrace having a variety of different vanilla beans in a bottle of extract because the way that the flavors work together and to enrich it and even it out, so you can get lots of flavor components and profiles from multiple different types of vanilla beans, this is a great vanilla bean blend for you. If you're just getting started in the world of extract, this is a great blend. If you're wanting to really stock up on about as cheap as we can go, especially when we're not talking about like the holiday once a year super sales. These are $7 an ounce, which is really good price. We're going to share 5 different bottles. Oh, the garage door just opened. That means that my husband's coming home. So I'm going to surprise him by filling up my bottle. So we're going to have 5 different vanilla bean varieties in this one blend. There will be Madagascar bourbon. There will be Papua New Guinea V planifolia, Papua New Guinea V tahitensis, which are different types of vanilla beans, and they are very different. There will be Indonesia V planifolia, and there will be Timor-Leste V planifolia extract grade. So they will be mixed grade. Some will be long, some will be short. They will all come mixed in together in your bag. They will not be marked separately or individually or anything like that. And Leslie says that these bottles that I've got, my daily use bottle, this is an oil bottle. I'm sorry, I'm being a little bit chaotic today. Apologize. These bottles are half price still on Amazon.com. Heather included a link to the Amazon link down in the comments if you are interested in that. So anyway, that's enough. That's the information about the zinnia group order. We wanted to offer this in time for Mother's Day because it's a mother jar, and we're going to do it so that they will be arriving to you for Mother's Day. So you can treat yourself, you can treat somebody that you love, you can just smile at our little play on words, fill up your mother jar, start a mother jar. I don't know, whatever you want to do with the vanilla beans. They're your vanilla beans. They will be great for making vanilla paste, for making vanilla sugar, for making vanilla salt, anything you want to do with them. They'll be really good for that. But we thought that would be a cute play on words. So, okay, so I'm going to top this one off. Hey, you want to say hi to Cody? I'm live right now.
Hello.
We're filling up your big, huge jar.
Oh, fun.
Do you know how much that is in there? It's really
50
big.
50 ounces?
50 ounces. I think it's got a little more than 50 ounces of vanilla beans in there.
Gosh.
I think it's a 3-gallon jar, but I have no idea how many beans are in there. We didn't weigh. Anyway, so hi, Cody.
Hello.
If you poke your head in a little bit better, then we can see you. Hi, Cody. All right. Anyway, he's home for lunch, I think. All right, so this is diluted Everclear. We're going to finish topping this off, and then I think if you guys want, we can go raid my stockpile and find something to fill up my daily use jar with. I did want to say though, I keep having to adjust my camera every time I stand up. After the Zinnia Mother Jar blend for Mother's Day, I'm going to miss that up so many times. After that group order is complete, it'll be open for 2 weeks. So it'll be open through May 4th. May the 4th be with you. And then after that, on May 5th, we're doing our once annual Ceylon Cinnamon Sale. And so that will be really, really fun. I know a lot of people are super excited about it. I posted yesterday announcing it, and I think that there's 500 likes and over 100 comments already. So that's going to be a popular one. And that will be a pre-order. You'll be able to order as much as you would like. It's not going to be a flash sale. We're not going to run out. And then after we close that pre-order, we'll import the cinnamon. So it will have a longer turnaround time, but that means that we can make sure that everybody gets as much as they would like, and we don't end up having to store a whole bunch of cinnamon, which is tough on us because we can't store it with vanilla beans because it's cinnamon and it's an allergen. So Heather has a question. If you keep topping off your mother jar, how do you know when they are done or overspent? I have a mother jar, but it is really old beans, so keep topping it off doesn't seem like a good idea. That's a fair question. And I think that you just know when they stop smelling like vanilla, when it stops tasting like vanilla. So if you are feeling like, oh my gosh, this has so much alcohol in it. That didn't even finish filling it up. Oh, I don't know what to do. Anyway, if you are making a mother jar and you like decant a little bit of it, pour it into your little baby jar, and then you top it off with more alcohol, how do you know like when the vanilla beans have just given up all that they're going to give, you know? So vanilla beans will kind of change in color. They won't be as dark. They'll kind of go blonde as they lose flavor. That's one of the ways that you could know. But also, if you just are not smelling vanilla goodness out of it anymore, if it doesn't smell really powerfully strong, like right now this smells like alcohol because I've been pouring in a ton of alcohol, but my bottles, they smell so much like the vanilla beans are so powerfully vanilla-y that I know that they've still got a lot of life left in them. But you can take some out, and dry them, maybe dry them and grind them into powder. You can add some of the vanilla beans to sugar, and then when you have room for more vanilla beans, then you can add fresh ones, and then you'll always have, you know, some fresh beans in there brewing. Some people have wrapped them in twine or something. Actually, I wouldn't recommend doing twine or even like butcher's thread, like cooking thread, simply because it is going in alcohol. We're leaving it in there for potentially a really long time. We don't want to end up having any of that degrade. Even cotton thread that isn't toxic or anything like that can still not be happy in a bottle of alcohol for like a year. You know, we won't want to do that. But there have been people that have been like, what can we do so that we can identify when we put in different vanilla beans? One thing that you could do is you could like tie a vanilla bean around them. As the vanilla beans soak in alcohol, they get pretty soft. Let me try and demonstrate and pull one out. So you can see how soft this thing is. So if you have a vanilla bean that's soft enough, you can tie it in a knot in and of itself. You can tie a knot around like a little bundle of vanilla beans and then drop it in. And then you can be like, this is, I don't know how you could keep track of it. Like, cause you're not writing the date on it and say, I added this one in this knot on this time, but I don't know. So that's one of the downsides of a mother jar, is that you don't know exactly when it's been refilled, when it hasn't. You just kind of have to go by flavor and by smell. So if you feel like your vanilla beans, your mother jar needs a refresh, you might want to take out some of the vanilla beans and retire them to either becoming air fresheners or being made into vanilla powder or something like that. You might want to retire them to an entirely new use, or you may want, and then put in fresh vanilla beans. And again, if we're talking about like you're taking out half the beans and adding half new ones, and you leave half of your alcohol in there all the time, we're never fully resetting the clock, because it has been doing stuff. It does have flavor in there already. So you might be able to shave off, 6 months or so from resetting the clocks, which means that if you did that every 6 months, you'd always have really robust vanilla extract. Okay, I hope that answered your question. I always feel like I'm kind of sporadic because I'm doing this. All right, so I didn't fully top off his bottle of extract, but I'm kind of needing to move on with my life. I do want to show you this here, though, before I completely leave my kitchen. Oh man, I gotta be really careful. This is heavy now. So you can see where the alcohol is. So there's a little bit, it's just topped off to about, I don't know, there's just a little bit of headroom. There's only about an inch left that didn't get full. It's about right there is where it is. So I'll get a little more alcohol and finish topping it off in just a moment. Let's go pick something to put in my daily use jar. So come with me. And hopefully won't make anybody too sick. And we'll show you my closet. So I actually, my sweet husband, this is why I don't know, it's just really fun. He's such an awesome guy. But we actually expanded my master closet over the summer or over the winter, around Christmas time. And we built this addition so that it could be filled with vanilla extract. So this is all vanilla extract, my new vanilla extract shelves. So it's kind of crazy. I got to be careful as I step up here. We put in these big, huge racks. Oh, this goes back deeper than I can do looking backwards through. So we've got these big pull-out shelves. And anyway, you can see all of like my bean wrangler experiments. We have done rum experiments and vodka experiments and stuff, and done taste tests at various times in the past. And I've got the rest of them. So I don't know. It's just so much vanilla. And that's not even like on the floor down underneath me. I've got my shoes and I've got my clothes and stuff, because this is my closet and it is a working closet. And that's why I'm being very careful not to show you like certain angles, because then you'll see my underwear. Heaven forbid I wear underwear. But I have vanilla sugar in here, and I also have some dehydrating vanilla beans that I can make into vanilla extract. I should show you that. I had it featured in like a little video not too long ago. Anyway, I just kind of have a tray. This is like a lid from a tray, actually. And when my vanilla beans are needing to be retired, like we were talking about what to do with the vanilla beans, or what do you do when you're just they're kind of spent. Sometimes I'll remove them and just dehydrate them. And then I will either grind them into powder, or I'll shove them in a jar of sugar, or sometimes we do eventually have to discard of them. Heaven, no, that's too sad. All right. So, and somebody did ask recently, how do you decide what jars to use? I usually go by date. I try and use things that are the oldest first, but sometimes I just cherry pick out what looks good. Oh, I need to fix we're looking at the ceiling. So I wanted your help deciding what I should put in my daily use jar. So I have up here, let's take a peek at some of the things that I've got. So I have a lot of things up on the top rack are where I have my experiments, where I have like, let's see if I can get up here without dying and drop it without dropping the camera. So I have like these, like this is Gosling's Black Seal Bermuda rum. And when I'm trying to do an experiment where I'm testing a specific type of vanilla bean in a specific type of alcohol, I will put it straight in the alcohol bottle. I won't put it in a separate bottle. So I've got vanilla beans in all of these, except for a bottle of bourbon back there that I need to do. And I need to get some really great vanilla beans to try in that bourbon. So watch out for a video of me making that bourbon into something spectacular. It's been on the back burner for a while. Figuratively, I didn't put my bourbon on the burner. That would not be good. My closet must smell heavenly. It does. It's sometimes kind of overwhelming. And I'm always like, my clothing smells like cookies like all the time. But if I'm doing a specific non-mother jarry style, but like I need to know exactly what type of alcohol it was and exactly what type of bean it was, I will put it straight in the bottle. That way, the alcohol bottle, that way I know that this is Captain Morgan rum. And I'd never have to wonder, did I mislabel it? Or I never have to, it just makes labeling a lot easier. So I will put the extra information, like this was part of the Bean Wrangler experiment from June 3rd of 2023. And I put mixed variety of vanilla beans in it, 6 ounces of them. So, and I did make a video of that. It's kind of old now. So, but anyway, I made a couple of videos of it. But right now we're looking for just something really awesome that I can just refill my daily use bottle with. So I have in here, let me just read off a couple of things that I have and you guys vote. All right. So I have this one that has a question mark on the top. Oh, I better not do this one-handed. These are too heavy. It's question mark. It says Mystery Beans, Mystery Booze. And that was made on December 29th of 2021. So I don't know what's in that. It's just got all kinds of stuff in it. I have one that was made with Everclear and Tahitensis vanilla beans. My guess is that they were Papua New Guinea V Tahitensis vanilla beans because this was also made in 2021 and we had not yet started selling other types of Tahitensis vanilla beans at that point. This one has Mexican vanilla beans and Madagascar bourbon vanilla beans and has vodka and was made in 2021. That might be a promising option. Let's see. So if you've heard one of the ones that you want me to try, please vote in the comments and I'll pull it out and use it. Ray asked, is it equal parts of water to Everclear and use distilled water? Yes. I used equal parts Everclear and water, but I was using 190 proof Everclear. So if your Everclear is different proof, like if it's 151, you'll need to adjust your ratios. You're aiming for a total of between 80 and 100 proof alcohol. So if you start with like 191 proof or 190 proof Everclear or moonshine or grain alcohol or something like that, and you're wanting to dilute it, yes, use distilled water, and that would be a 1-to-1 ratio. Like it would cut it in half. So you use the same amount of Everclear and distilled water. But if it's not that high of a proof, then you need to do a different ratio. So anyway, okay, so we have one vote I've got a couple of votes for the Mystery Beans, Mystery Booze, and one, 2 for Mexican and Madagascar and vodka. A couple more for the mystery jar. I think we should do the mystery jar. All right. I got to do this and not drop anything. Sorry, I'm tucked away in my closet here and you can't really see my collection. So that's where it was. And now I've got the mystery beans and mystery booze. The fun part about having so many different types of vanilla extract is that I can do this time and next time I can do something different. So we're going to go with the mystery jar. This is mystery beans and mystery booze. Back out of here. And I actually do have a really cool lock on my closet. It's a fingerprint lock. So only my husband and I can open that door. It's kind of fun. All right. So, okay. Get back into my little spot and we're going to refill my daily use jar here. Yeah, it snowed last night. You can see out in my backyard. Happy April in Utah. Anyway, so Sue asked, first of all, she voted for the Mystery Beans, Mystery Booze, and she's done 151 proof with equal parts distilled water. So she was diluting Everclear, 151 proof Everclear with water, and she cut it 50-50. So that means that she used equal parts water and Everclear. So what ends up happening if you do that is that your total proof now is exactly half of what it had been. So 151 divided by 2 is about 75. That's a little tiny bit lower than that 80 proof, 80 to 100 proof, like Goldilocks zone. But you should be okay because even as low as 70 proof will still preserve your beans and extract them. If we go too low of proof in your alcohol, you run the risk of having spoilage. If you go too high of proof with your alcohol, you run your beans start drying out and they don't have enough water to stay hydrated and they won't extract very well, or they'll just extract extremely slowly. I got to dump out these vanilla beans because I have some little beans in my daily use jar because I'm like, they just keep adding flavor. Like they're not going bad in there. So I might as well just keep a few beans in there, but I think I'd like to trade them out for something that's a little bit fresher. So I'm going to grab a handful of beans from a different jar and dump out those ones. I could also like scrub this out, but it's only ever had vanilla extract in it. So it's like just vanilla caviar and vanilla oils in the bottom. Now there's one that I can't get out without sticking my fingers in there. And since I'm doing a video, I don't want to do that. So this is the inside of my daily use jar. There's a ton of caviar on the bottom. It's kind of sludgy. That doesn't bother me. It's just vanilla. I don't know. If it bothers you and it's in your house, feel free to scrub it out every now and then. I don't believe in throwing away vanilla beans. That's what's gotten me into this big, huge mess because that's how I ended up with an entire closet full of vanilla extract. All right, so I'm just going to carefully back this up so you guys can watch because this is the fun part. If I do it off camera where you can't see it, that's not very fun. So here's my bottle of Mystery Beans, Mystery Booze jar. Again, this was made December 29th, 2021. I was doing a bunch of experiments. If you click my name and you go back to 2021, you'll probably find where I was doing the experiments that created this jar. I think I called them the Fellowship of the Bean, and I had like 9 varieties of extract that I was making, nine bottles of booze. It had some bourbon, it had rum, it had brandy and vodka, and I don't even know what else, but I know that I did not write down what I was putting in there. I thought it would be hilarious, and I still think it's hilarious that I didn't keep track of everything in here. That means this is completely one of a kind. I'll never be able to recreate it. So anyway, this video has been going on for a while, so I'm going to just quickly top this thing off. And I don't know if you could see how syrupy that was. And I did not cut the beans up. I usually leave my vanilla beans whole. And so it still gets pretty syrupy. And that's kind of normal for homemade vanilla extract. It can be kind of syrupy. It can be kind of goopy. It can have these floaties in it. It can have oils that kind of coagulate in the jar, especially if it's kind of chilly where you're storing your vanilla extract. All of that's normal. These vanilla beans, they do have kind of some connective tissues in them and stuff. But that's nothing to be worried about. One last peek at some of the big mother jars that I've been using. I might top this thing off with some more mystery beans and more mystery booze because that's fun. But again, we're talking mother jars today. We have that mother jar blend coming up on Monday the 21st. It's going to be really fun. And maybe not 3 gallons. Maybe don't make 3 gallons of mother jar, or at least not of vanilla extract, at least not in one bottle, just because if that breaks, then you guys that's a big investment to lose. But I really do like these 3-liter Le Parfait jars, or you can just use any mason jars are great for making vanilla extract in. But it's really fun to make mother jars where you mix up your vanilla beans with your alcohol. You can mix any type of vanilla bean you want. You can mix any type of alcohol that you want. You can keep it simple. You can be more experimentatious. It's up to you. And the beauty of it. When we make something at home, we can decide how we like it. And we can try, if you're somebody who doesn't enjoy the experiments and you want to know exactly what went into it so that you can recreate it in the future, you can do that. You don't have to, though. And it's only as limited as you are just by what you're comfortable with and what your imagination is. And we don't judge. It's okay. You can do something however you like it. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Keep your ears peeled for more information about like the upcoming cinnamon order, the zinnia mother jar blend. Please tell me how you use your mother jar, if you make a mother jar, how you would define it. And thanks for sticking with me as we refilled my husband's big, huge jar. And anyway, have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk to you later. Bye.